So these are the big 15 social giants. Actually, I should say 16 because I left out Snapchat. I don't know why. This data came from 2017. But as you can imagine, the champ is Facebook. Everybody knows what Facebook is. The thing about Facebook is you can also buy ads on Facebook. And so it's you can create your own pages to promote your product, and you can also make ads. And the thing is, those ads can be very targeted. Facebook has actually a really simple system that you can go out posting an ad. The cost is typically about $20 a day. If you want to go out to a lot of people, then they charge you more. YouTube, everyone knows what that is. Twitter, Instagram, which is focused more on you sharing your content, whether it's videos and pictures. LinkedIn, it's about business and getting business information. Reddit, the front page of the internet, where you can pretty much read articles about anything. VK is Europe's social network, and they're basically the Europe version of Facebook. And one of my students told me, oh, they're Russian, so yeah, I'm not going over there. And Tumblr is about microblogging and social networking. Pinterest, pins of information. You can actually purchase things on Pinterest. Google Plus, honestly, all this Google stuff, they just kind of, to me, it's just another layer of everything else that Google does, so it's not particularly interesting. Flickr is more for the people who do high quality content work, and it's a showcase for their material. Meetup is I can set groups together just to meet up with people. Ask FM is a site to ask questions, which is centered in Latvia. So again, LiveJournal is your opportunity to tell your stories. So this is where people write their stories, share it with others. And MySpace now is what it's come down to, is a different kind of social network, meaning they've pivoted over to music and articles. But if you look at all these sites, what they have in common is they all fall into one of three categories. Either it's about sharing personal information, sharing information about business, or sharing content. And so your product has to align with the media that you want to present it in. Like if you're B2B, yeah, LinkedIn makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, if you're trying to build brand, trying to build feelings about your product, then other social sites are better. And so if we categorize them according to these three values, this is where all of these tend to sit. In terms of your social media goals, what are you trying to do? You're trying to build awareness. You're trying to drive traffic, get leads. Financial, you want to make revenue. You want people to sign up. You want to get good customers, not people who waste your time. And then promote your company, whether it's having them engage your brand, community building, which is them referring, or you set up either subreddits or something like that where people, so you set up areas where people can meet, press mentions, social listening, that you get likes and shares. And so different sites, though, align with different parts of the funnel. And that's, are you trying to create customer loyalty, or are you trying to create brand awareness? Different kinds of goals. In terms of business alignment, so which one of these social sites aligns to what I'm doing? Well, the thing is, Instagram, Snapchat, and Reddit, they're all geared towards younger people. If you have an older product, this isn't the group you're looking for. In terms of industries, HGU Apparel is actually a startup here on the Poly campus, and they sell t-shirts and clothes. And so naturally, something like Instagram and Pinterest makes a lot of sense for them. If you have a local business, Google Plus makes a lot of sense because of Google Maps. In terms of your product for e-commerce, some of the sites like Pinterest make a lot of sense. Let's see, Facebook does have a click-through for you to make purchases on Facebook. In terms of your product, are you a more visual product? Like if I'm selling nose hair clippers, I mean, that's not particularly, at least a pleasant visual, but things like cars, makeup, that's lends itself very much so. So you're probably going to go more towards the content type of site. In terms of company, if you're trying to find out about activity levels, Instagram and Twitter, especially hashtags like a trade shows or whatever, tells you the most. If you want to stream live, Facebook has that, as well as Snapchat. Maybe I'm looking for intelligence. I want to know about my competition. What sites are they on? And that tells me something about places I should be looking. You know about content. And in terms of channels, YouTube. Because they're Google, as you can pretty much imagine, can help your search engine. Instagram, part of the drawback to Instagram, it doesn't really help you very much with SEO because there's no links in the posts unless you pay for it. And so, again, it's about brand awareness you're trying to create, or are you going after customer loyalty? And so this pretty much sums up what you're trying to do with your social media. Am I trying to improve search engine? Am I trying to build brand awareness? Am I trying to talk and communicate with my customer? Or am I trying to drive traffic? And so here are the pros and cons of each. Now, to give you an example of one of the social sites, this is Reddit. And actually, 5 other social analyses is done in a later lecture. But who is Reddit? Well, they're called, the first time I went to Reddit, I thought, this is it? This is the front page of the internet? Man, it's not much more attractive than Craigslist. But the people who are on Reddit Reddit users are very, very passionate. They're also very, very active. And their persona is, it's male. They're 25 to 34, they're rowdy, they're free spirits, they're fun and authentic. And so on their message boards, you can post information linking them to a URL. And so it's very simple to do. And so based on the links that you post to articles and things like that, they up and downvote it, they make comments. You can create communities. And so in this case, the community is cake. And they have their own language, their own shorthand, OP, DAE. Yeah, the English language is kind of dying. You can also create ads. The thing about Reddit and the subreddits are their specific topics. And you can pay to have ads show up when those topics show up. And so they're targeted pop-ups. In terms of promotions on Reddit, you can create email lists, find recurring content related to your product, and ask permission to link to that particular website. Direct sales, and that's so you can set up a conversion to sales. Reddit is about top of the funnel, and this is what startups are interested in. And it's actually much cheaper for views than it is for Facebook. Creates good inbound marketing. One of our students here actually works on video games. He posted his prototype on Reddit to get feedback, and he said, oh my goodness, all these people jumped in, they gave really good suggestions, and everybody was really active. He thought he was going to go someplace and be dead. And so in terms of driving traffic, I want promotions to help drive traffic, like coupons or something like that, give them some kind of incentive. But the other big advantage of Reddit is that segmenting my customers is already there, because people have segmented themselves based on topics they're interested in. And so I can also, since it's about linking, I can connect to users my content. Now, the thing about Reddit is it can go blow up on you. The president of REI decided to go on Reddit. They had an Ask Me Anything session. And what happened? They started pummeling him with questions about working conditions and pay. So you take a chance going on Reddit. They want things that are authentic. They don't like marketers. They don't like salesmen. And they don't like over ads. What they do like are things that are helpful. This is pretty much true of any social media. People don't want to be hard sold. So you have to be careful. You have to go in. You have to start talking to people. One big mistake that a lot of engineers make, technicians are the ones who actually do the creating. They're the ones who get their hands dirty. One big mistake I've seen from a lot of engineers is I just hand them work and throw it over the wall. What did Dr. Cho do in each one of his jobs? He sat down. He would talk with his techs. He would get to know them. He would teach them things. And guess what? They were loyal to my work. Everybody else's work, bottom of the pile. And it's like, I was no fool. I know how these things work. If you don't like what they're saying about you, don't fire back. Firing back just makes things worse. And not only that, but you just cause a feeding frenzy. Always be polite, maintain your professionalism. Reddit is a gold mine of information that people haven't really harvested yet. There are thousands of subreddits, a lot of focused content that you can take advantage of. Now, in terms of Reddit, there are two ways to go about doing Reddit. One is the typical forward approach, and that's it. I make content, I create a subreddit, and then I hope that I get some kind of response to it. There's an opposite approach, and that's reverse engineer it. Basically, the idea behind this is to find the big population errors and find a way to connect to them. And so first, you can do searches. The thing you have to be careful about is there are a lot of conditions in Reddit. .self means you cannot link to it externally. Why? Because if I say something stupid, do I really want to link to the rest of the internet? .netsec means no photos, so you need to look at those conditions. When you do a search, though, it'll tell you the number of users and posts and everything else. So it'll tell you the size of the group you're working with. So what you're actually doing is finding a lot of short tail segments. And so based on that, you can build an audience because you know what to look for. And so that gives you a sampling of how you go about using social media. But what it comes down to is you're trying to create funnels. And this is the journey through the funnel. And so now it's a matter of you figuring out how to take advantage of it.